Good morning, everybody. It's Mark Salerno, and I am your host of Real Talk with Mark Salerno. This is going to be episode 4 of our 8-part series podcast. I hope you all have been enjoying the podcast that we put out so far. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, click the link below, subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys for your support. Get right into it. This is episode 4. I'm going to be breaking this down with these 7 secret skills because I want to better all my fellow realtors out there. So if you're looking to move forward in this business and create more momentum, create better sales, this is the podcast that you're going to want to watch. Step 1 is be proactive. You got to take initiative. Don't just sit at home and think that opportunities are going to knock at your door. No client will ever reach out to you if you don't put in the effort. It's that simple. Hey, you might get lucky. You're going to get a family member who's going to call you and say, hey, I need to buy or sell, but you don't want to have to bank on that. You want to go out there and find your own business. You're not going to survive long in this market if your approach is to rely on family members and friends for your business. Trust me on that. I've been in the business for 15 years. So be proactive by taking initiative. Be present online. Make yourself more available and easily approachable. Be active on social media, create a website, and make a name for yourself. You need to research new ways and methods to get your name and brand out there. Find new ways to reach out to new clients. Don't solely rely on extended family and friends. However, it is a good idea to start introducing yourself as a realtor to them. And at the start, just go from there. So I'm gonna give you guys an example of one of my first deals. This is right when I got into the business. It was actually a referral from my father to somebody. And I'll never forget, I sold that townhouse for $283,000. Now, that was done via referral, which, a strong source of referral was my father, which was fantastic, but I still had to get the job done. It's one thing to get a referral, and it's one thing to actually capitalize on it and get the sale done. So make sure wherever that lead is coming from, you're putting 110% behind it. Tip 2, that's going to be knowledge is power. If you are a new realtor, it may be overwhelming to start finding new leads or even getting practical experience as a real estate agent. I highly suggest that you invest most of your valuable resources you have into real estate. And I'm going to tell you something, that valuable resource is time. And when people get into the business, they typically say, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm a realtor. I'm going to sell so many houses. And then you're excited for, let's say a week or 2 weeks. And then when you realize that business isn't coming, you start getting discouraged. So do not get discouraged. I promise you that. It will come if you put the hard work in. We know that there's nothing more valuable than time, and it only comes once. So take full advantage of it. Make the most of your time by gaining more knowledge through different means. Listen to podcasts, which are also doing really well. Read books, read blogs, research new trends. Introduce yourself to people who have more experience in the field. Follow them online and gain as much information as you can. The more knowledge you have, the better decisions you can make, and the better professional advice you're able to give to people. At the end of the day, you get what you give. And that's something that I've always been so consistent with. I give everything to this business, so I expect a lot in return. I invest a lot of time, a lot of hours, and a lot of sacrifices. And again, time being that thing we can't get back, you're gonna wanna invest your time wisely. I'm going to give you an example of time. Now, for most people, you would have probably pulled it and called quits a little bit early. One of the clients I dealt with, it actually took me 5 years to make a deal with. You can imagine the account of countless showings and offers and everything that didn't work out. And it's very easy to just pull the plug on it and say, I can't do this. But these were clients that were very important to me. They showed me the loyalty of staying with me. And 5 years later, we picked up that property. So again, don't just judge your time based on how quickly you can do something. It's very important that you're doing a good job. Secret number 3 is engage on a personal level. A good real estate agent doesn't only sell real estate, they sell themselves and they sell their brand. And I think it's very important for you to understand that whether you're with a big brokerage or you're with an independent brokerage, I'm always a firm believer that you are the product. And look, I'm a self-example here, guys. I've been running an independent brokerage that's, very small scale on the overall level, but people want to work with me, and that's why they've given us business, and that's why we continue to do good work, and that's why we continue to move up the ranks in the Ontario Real Estate Board. So make sure that you have that confidence in yourself first and foremost. It's very important to be transparent with your clients and show your real personality. People are working with you, so show them exactly who you are. Don't create a persona online that's somebody, and then when they meet you in real life, they're like, this is not the same person. So build trust with your clients when you show that you truly care and by listening to their needs. Buying or selling a home is a major event in someone's life. So please be sensitive and attentive to their unique needs, as every client is going to be different. For a client, this is an emotional roller coaster to move out of a previous place when they're either upsizing or downsizing. I've seen families grow moving into bigger homes, and I've seen parents moving into smaller places after their kids have moved out or have gone to college. So every client has a unique story, and knowing that you as a realtor is sharing that big moment of finding the perfect home for your clients, it's an incredible feeling, and you'll see once that happens to you. By recognizing their unique needs, you can address and help your clients on a more personal level that makes them feel like they're in good hands when dealing with you. And I'm going to tell you, that's probably the most important part of the entire transaction. Obviously, being knowledgeable and being professional is huge, but at the end of the day, when a client feels like you are putting their best interests forward, you're winning on every side of the deal, because these clients are going to turn around and say, wow, Mark was such a great realtor. Not only was he a professional, but he cared about us. And I think that's something that this business is losing. When you care for somebody, they will feel it, and from there, it's just going to be smooth sailing. Now, every client is not going to be the same. You may be dealing with a divorce sale, or you may be dealing with someone who's a widow, or you may be dealing with someone who's single, someone who has a big family. So it's very important to treat each case differently. No one deal will ever be the same. Guys, I've done over 500 transactions in my career, and I can never sit here and say that, deal A was the same as deal B. This is what the exciting part of this business is for me, always having something new and a new challenge or perspective to deal with. Step 4, this is my favorite step of all. Be a badass negotiator. When it comes to negotiating, you got to pull out the claws, but you also need to know how to pick your battles and how to navigate through each negotiation. It's very important, as again, every negotiation is going to be different. If you haven't seen the first episode of Real Talk with Mark Salerno on negotiating, then you should go back to episode 1 and watch that. Definitely check it out. There's going to be a lot of details and tips on examples of how you can be a badass negotiator. In that podcast, I talked about my top 3 main skills you need to be a badass negotiator. And if you want to be a badass negotiator, you must develop these 2 personality traits. So the first thing you're going to have to do is develop a habit to always be prepared. When you go in, you must make sure you're prepared. Without preparation, straight up, you're just going to lose deals. The second one is to always have a clear goal of what you are trying to gain from the negotiation. What personally helps me is to think logically and to make decisions based on facts and not emotions. With that being said, it helps to stay calm and practice with a colleague or a friend beforehand, especially if you're going over essential points, and to get another perspective is always good. But for more details on how you can be a badass negotiator, like I said before, go back to my podcast 1, check it out. So I'm going to give you guys an example, and this actually just happened to me last week. We were dealing with properties that we were trying to buy in the city, and as you guys know, it's a very competitive market. We lost out on 3 deals to begin with. And heading into this 4th deal, we had an opportunity because this property did not have an offer date on it, but we went to see it day 1. The first thing I did, I spoke to my clients. I knew they wanted to buy the house, and I said, look, I need to figure out every step of what your thought process will be on different equations. So for example, if they signed it back to us, or if they were going to ask for more money, what are your limitations on how far you can go? To make a long story short, I was able to get all that information from my clients before we submitted the offer. My clients were actually willing to pay up to $70,000 more than list price, and I knew this in the back of my mind. So when I went into the negotiations, I had a clear-cut understanding of where I needed to be to make this purchase. Well, I'm going to tell you this. My clients didn't pay $70,000 what we're asking. We got it for list price. And that's because I understood the process of where my clients wanted to be, and I took my chances accordingly on how I felt I can feel it out. And a lot of that was through the discussion I had with the agent at the beginning, understanding where her thoughts were, understanding where my client's thoughts were, kind of meshing it all together and making it happen. So again, clear cut, understand where you're going with your negotiations and execute. Step 5, and this is probably one of the more important secrets, because if you haven't done it by now, I guess you're just gonna be in a little bit of trouble. It's being present online. It's 2020, guys. Everybody has got one of these bad boys in their hands at all times. And if you're not online, you're gonna miss a ton of opportunities for new leads and basically putting yourself out there for the world to see. So having an online presence is extremely important to stay connected with old and new clients. Through social media, you can update people on what's going on in the market and the new listings that are available for sale. And more importantly, you can keep them updated on yourself. If you're not active online, then there's no chance at all you're gonna be becoming a top selling realtor. And even for these older school agents, when I say older school agents, we're talking about agents who have been in the business for 30, 40 years, you're starting to see them all transition to online because they understand that that's the only way to go. Basically, we live in a digital world and you must adapt to the changes on how people shift with these changes. Make sure to be constant on social media, and don't forget, you have to be professional. Have a professional website that people can actually book appointments with and get more information about you and your real estate services. I explain 4 effective marketing strategies to use as a realtor in my podcast number 2. So again, if you missed anything before this, just go back, watch episode 1, 2, and 3. Guys, I don't think I need to give you an example. I'm here doing a podcast for you. We have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, we have everything, okay, including Instagram. So make sure that you are covering all platforms. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. And when I say that, let's give you an example. Vine. You guys remember Vine, the app that you go on and make funny videos and stuff like that? If somebody had built a Vine account and that was their only account that they put their media onto, guess what? Vine got shut down. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what do I do at this point? And this is why I stress, you want to be across the social platform from A to Z. Some you'll be more popular on and some you'll be a little bit slower on, but guess what? You will be there across the board for when people want to look you up. Secret number 6, just be confident. Confidence is king. You ever hear that saying? And I don't mean like fake it till you make it kind of confidence. If there's something that you don't know or something you're unsure about, learn it. Or tell the client, hey, I don't have the answer for this, but I'd be more than happy to find it for you. You have to understand it so that you can present yourself confidently. Information is easily accessible online in today's world. So guys, it's the matter of clicking in a few buttons and hitting enter. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to know what you're saying when you're speaking with somebody. The last thing you want to do is say that you're confident, but you actually don't know. And people can read it. Guys, pretending or bullshitting takes you nowhere, and people can see right through it. So the last thing you want to do is being caught in the middle of something where you're pretending to know something that you don't, because that's just going to annoy somebody more than if you actually didn't know the answer and were truthful about it. People do catch up to all the bullshit. So keep it straight. If you know the answer is great. If you don't, just don't. I believe in being completely transparent with your clients because that ultimately builds trust, and trust will take you to the finish line. So practice your communication skills to build confidence, being a good listener, ask questions, make eye contact. Most importantly, be professional, dress to impress. Not only will it boost your confidence, but putting on a suit or a dress shirt will also add more credibility and trustworthiness to your client's perspective. Now, this is a big, major, important one. Arrive on time, be prepared, and be pleasant to speak to when people are dealing with you. First thing, if you're not on time, you're going to irritate somebody, because time for everybody, I think, is our most valuable thing that we have, because we just don't have enough of it. So make sure that you're going to be on time. I'm going to give you guys an example of being very confident. Now, I'm very confident in my skills to sell as a realtor. We all know that. We've sold across the board in many different cities. Now, I'll give you an example of where I just picked up a listing in an area where I've never worked in my life. And we're talking, these are all luxury, high-end homes. And I was being, compared, or at least held, side by side to some of the top dogs in Ontario real estate, for that matter, and people who are area specialists. But the clients turned to me and said, Mark, look, I know that you're not an area specialist, but we love what you do online. We love what you speak for, and we love everything about you, basically. But are you ready to sell this home? Do you feel confident to sell this home? I sat there with 100% confidence and told them, I don't care what area I'm in. For me, if I know what I'm dealing with and I do the research to understand an area, I think I can sell a home better than anybody else. So if I sat there and said, oh, I've never been in this area before and I just don't know if I could sell in here, then guess what? I wouldn't be sitting here with that listing right now. So guys, be confident in what you're doing. If you don't believe you can do something, it just will never happen. And if you're not showing confidence in being able to do something, how do you expect somebody else to? And needless to say, with one of their most expensive assets in life. So just be confident, guys. You guys are going to be there and you'll be okay. One thing that you really got to understand and always keep into effect when you're dealing with a client is putting their needs first, okay? Obviously, at the end of every transaction, there's a commission check. Some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't give a shit how big that commission check is. At the end of the day, I would never think twice about not putting my client's needs first. So that's something that's very important. I want you guys to really understand what I'm saying and take it in. Because when you put your client's needs first, everything else will follow into that equation. If you want to be a professional that's reliable and trustworthy, then always, always, always put your client's needs first. Number 7, and this one, I keep saying it's the most important because all these are important tips, but I think this one actually resonates really well because this is the truth by the end of it. Relationships before sales, that's secret number 7. As a realtor, I know how important it is for the commission check because that's what our livelihood is. We get paid for a service that we provide, but that's essentially what all realtors work for. It's to make a living, okay? And nobody is gonna see past that. But at the end of the day, I have the opinion of getting a fat commission check versus building strong relationships with my clients. For me, I'm gonna choose building the strong relationships with clients because guess what? A commission check is here today. Clients are here forever. And I don't only wanna do a deal with a client once. I wanna be the go-to realtor that they speak about and wanna do all of their real estate with and anybody they refer me to. So before the commission check, think about the clients. I always go into every transaction and every dealing with my clients with saying, what's the important level here? It's getting a job done. The money will come along with it, but make sure you are doing everything that you can to put your client's needs first. That's the most important tip that I can give you. We all know money comes and goes, but investing into a reputation is something that takes time. You can build a reputation for 10 years and then do one horrible thing, and guess what? That fucking 10 years of great work is completely out the window. So at the end of the day, people will remember what you did for them, and when they needed you, that you had that positive image in their mind because you did good work for them. This is the way that more clients are going to refer you business. Greed is a short-term mindset that will not lead you far in a professional journey. It's simply put, I see it time and time again in this business. This is an industry that it's a people industry, okay? Involving emotions, big decisions. Therefore, understanding the importance of building strong relationships by forming trust and transparency will make you a winner. It takes years to build a strong reputation, but it takes one wrong move to destroy it. It's very simple. I'm gonna give you an example of this, and this is the last example that I'll give. I was on the phone with somebody today that didn't know me from anybody. The conversation started off by, Mark, I saw your videos. I really liked them. I like how you presented yourself. It was very different. And he said, I started speaking to some people and every person I spoke to or heard about you had good things to say. So this is why I say building a trustworthy network of people and being very transparent and showing people what you do will go a long way. People that don't even know you will already build this resonation with you to say, wow, I heard he's a good guy and now I spoke to him and he sounds like a great guy. So always put that first. I promise you, if you stay consistent and follow these 7 steps, there's nothing stopping you from becoming a top selling realtor. So let's just go over the 7 secrets again. Number 1, it was be proactive. Number 2, knowledge is power. Number 3, engaging personally. Number 4, being a badass negotiator. Number 5, be present online. Number 6, be confident. And number 7, relationships before sales. I want to thank you guys again for tuning into Real Talk with Mark Salerno. Thank you guys for watching episode 4. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Click that link below. And if you'd like to check out some of our blogs, go to www.salernorealty.ca. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. And if you got any questions, put them in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer them.